how you doing? I'm very excited because today is short and sweet time. Woo! I apologize for the braids, they look awful, I know, but I did them very quickly because it's pretty hot. So that's what we're dealing with today. So if you don't know, Short and Sweet is Sabrina Carpenter's 6th album. Wow, how time has flown. And I am so excited for this album. Honestly, the time between the last time I talked to you about a Sabrina album, Emos I Can't Stand, and now has been absolutely wild to be a Sabrina Carpenter fan. Like, I've been a fan since Girl Meets World. I was a very unhinged Girl Meets World fan, genuinely. So, you know, it's been a very wild release time for this album because all of a sudden all eyes are on her and I'm like, when did this happen? I mean, I'm very glad that this is happening. Really, I am, because Sabrina deserves all this attention because she's so talented, and I've always said that, but it's all you know to experience all of that. But that's all of a side tangent because we got 12 songs to talk about. Let's start with the first song, Taste. Oh, Taste is such a banger and such an incredible way to start off the album. I had such a fun time listening to this. It's kind of like sassy, fun. I don't know, I really like it. And then of course next we have Please Please Please, the second single for the album. Honestly, this was my favorite of the two singles, Espresso and Please Please Please. Just something about the song scratches my brain just right. I've said that before, and I'll say it again, just something about it, about the production of it and like the vocals of it, everything, just like, oh, I love it a whole lot. Then next we have Good Graces. This is a really fun, like a light song with very confident and sassy lyrics, and I really love this one. I don't know, there was just this quality to it that is very Sabrina, and I love it a lot. And next we have Sharpest Tool. So this one is a catchy and fun song, but when you listen to the lyrics, it's like devastating. And I think that contradiction just really works out with kind of like the message of the song, if that makes sense. And yeah, I again really like it. It's just, I'm gonna say this about every song on the album, spoiler alert. And next we have Coincidence. And oh, this, yes, I love the guitar on it. I think that worked really well. It's a very petty song, which I really like. I don't know, it speaks to me on a fundamental level. And next we have Chem. This is a very sexy song with but something about like the production and the melody kind of has this dreamlike quality to it, in my opinion, which I really like. The vocals in this one are insane. I mean, Sabrina's vocals are always incredible, but in this one, that's definitely something I noted down. And the lyrics carry Sabrina's signature humor, and therefore it's a really great song. So now we're moving on to Espresso. Espresso really just like is that bitch, because at this point I think I've heard this song like a billion times, just from my own and from being out in the world. I genuinely have heard this more than I've heard my own name at this point, and it still is just so catchy, so much fun. I don't know, and it gets stuck in my head on loop as well still after all this time, and I'm not tired of it. I don't think I'll ever be tired of it, just because there was just something about the song that just remains fun, and therefore it is that bitch. Next we have Dumb and Poetic. You know, emotional whiplash from the last song. Like, this and Espresso could not be more different from each other when it comes to like tone. This song is so emotionally devastating. Every lyric just cuts deep and it hurts. There is this kind of like anger, frustration, kind of sadness within this that's so palatable that I just really love. Then our next song is Slim Pickins. This song is one that she performed at the Grammy Museum, I believe it was, before the album came out. So we did hear things about it, and I really like this one. It has a bit of a country vibe to it, and I mean, I feel like this song is kind of like a mix between more of a country vibe and more of an R&B vibe, like mixed in with pop, obviously, as the main genre, and I really enjoy both of the sides. But this one definitely has a country vibe going for it. It's a very depressing song, but incredibly well crafted. Really like this one. And then next we have Juno. And Juno is just pop perfection. It's like exactly what you want from like a fun song. Everything about this radiates happy and love kind of vibes. It's also kind of tongue-in-cheek, which I really enjoy. I feel like Sabrina is sometimes at her best when she does that. I mean, she's also great at like emotionally devastating song, but I feel like that tongue-in-cheekness is not something a lot of artists are doing the way that Sabrina is doing it. So can always compliment her for that. And yeah, I can't help but dance along to this one. Even upon first listen, I just was like bopping along to it because it's so much fun. Then next we have Lie to Girls. Honestly, in my notes for this one, I wrote, damn Sabrina, I thought using my diary as inspiration stuff with emails I can send, but apparently not. This one is honestly, it hit. It did. And I think it's gonna hit to a lot of people because there's just something so universal about it. And it's a stunning song. And it left me a bit speechless after listening to it. And finally we have Don't Smile. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people go to bat for this song, thinking it's underrated, but I do think it is my least favorite on the album. But that being said, it's still such a beautiful song. It's a heartbreaking song, but like an incredible way to wrap up the album. I feel like it puts everything together in a nice bow really well. It's a gorgeous song. But yeah, this is not my favorite from the album, but still incredible. And maybe if I listen to it more, this is also probably the one that I've listened to the least. If I listen to it more, it might jump up on that ranking. But yeah, that means we have arrived at the end of this album, and now I have to say a top 3, which is nearly impossible. Like genuinely, I don't know how to pick 3 songs from this album because every single song is just so incredibly well crafted, and it's really hard to pick because they're all doing such different things. They're all like very unique songs, but still like it makes one cohesive album. And I think honestly, if you are being just like subjective, I think this is Sabrina's best album to date, just like craft wise. None of it misses. It is just so incredible, and it really just like it highlights all the best parts of what she does really well. And therefore I still think Emails I Can Send is my personal favorite because that album just hits different. Especially at the time it came out, it just I think it did that for a lot of people. But this just like on a craft level, I feel like it's such a level up. And picking a top 3 is so difficult. I basically just gave you my review of the album because I didn't want to give you my top 3 because that's how difficult it is. I think my number 1 is Lie to Girls. I do think I have to say that. Then 2 might be Good Graces, and 3 Poetic. I don't know, that doesn't sound right because 2 out of 3 of those are really sad ones, and I feel like I'm gravitating more towards the fun songs on this album. But like if I look at the list, I feel like that's my top 3. So yeah, but that was so difficult and definitely subject to change as I listen to this album more. I can already see it changing based on the vibe that like on the mood that I'm in, the vibe of the world we're in. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this album as well as your top 3. I always love seeing other people's top 3s, and then hopefully I'll see you next time. Good.
Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated? I should have played it cool instead of